Hey guys, it's Christina Lane from Dessert for Two, and today we're making another dinner for two. We're making my family's favorite. It's an easy beef and broccoli stir fry for two. It's a little bit like my honey garlic chicken. We're gonna make a sauce, and then we're gonna cook our meat and combine everything with the veggies and have a great one bowl meal. So let's get started on our meat. So flank steak has a grain to it. Grains are the lines and the striations in the meat. They're going this way, so we want to cut to the opposite. So we're going to cut down this way. I actually put this beef in the freezer for about 20 minutes before I wanted to cut it, because when the meat is a little firm, it's a lot easier to thinly slice, because we really do need these really thin slices. Try to get them about a ½ inch thick or less. This meat cooks really quickly in the skillet. We're gonna use a really hot skillet. I'm gonna put it in a bowl and I'm gonna toss it with some cornstarch before we fry it. So this is a tablespoon of cornstarch. When you coat meat with cornstarch and it hits a hot pan sizzling with oil, it creates a crispy crust that is so delicious. My meat has been sitting for about 5 minutes. It started to soak up some of the cornstarch, so it's time to fry it. Okay, I have my burner over medium-high. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of neutral oil. Our oil is nice and hot. One of the ways I test oil is I put my hand about 1 inch from the surface, and if you can only hold it there for a few seconds, it's hot and ready to go. So add all of the beef to the skillet. You're gonna hear a nice sizzle. While our beef crisps up, let's make our delicious sauce. We need 1/4 cup of soy sauce, 1/4 cup of chicken broth, and then I'm adding a little pinch of red pepper flakes. This is mainly for my husband. If you're feeding kids, I would leave this out. And then we need 2 cloves of garlic. We're going to finely mince our garlic, because once we add the sauce to the pan, it's not gonna cook for very long. Next, we need fresh ginger. I have a little trick for peeling fresh ginger. I actually use a spoon. We need about 1 tablespoon of ginger, about 1 inch down. Ginger is something I always keep in my freezer. I peel it before I freeze it though, and then you can grate it right from the freezer. The next thing we need is 3 tablespoons of honey. Honey is what brings sweetness, obviously, but it brings kind of a thickness to the sauce. Finally, add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Cornstarch needs to be added to cold ingredients and fully dissolved. Once you add something that contains cornstarch to a hot pan, the heat will thicken the sauce. And then we only have one more thing to do. We have to chop our broccoli. Fresh broccoli is what I typically use, but I have used frozen. When you're buying frozen broccoli, you want to buy broccoli florets. Otherwise, you get a lot of stems in your final dish. Any that are a little too big, go ahead and slice them in half. You want them to be bite-sized, and we're ready to add them to our skillet with the steak. My beef is looking brown and crispy on one side, so I'm going to flip it over. Oh, the cornstarch really gives us those crispy brown edges. And now we add our broccoli. It takes about the same amount of time for our broccoli to cook as it does the second side of the steak. And then it's time to add our sauce. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes, and as the sauce comes to a bubble, it will thicken. Just one final touch, and this is just personal. I love sesame oil, so I drizzle a tablespoon on top. I love the smokiness, the kind of nutty depth of flavor it adds to this dish. I am serving my beef and broccoli over rice today. To make rice for two, I do a ½ cup of rice to a cup of water, but it's great over egg noodles. Time to taste. Oh, I wish you could smell it in here. I smell the sesame oil once it hits the hot skillet. I smell the honey, the spice. This sauce is addicting. It's got the right balance of salty and sweet. The red pepper flake is so delicious here. I love the way the sauce coats the broccoli, all the pieces of steak, and then the extra sauce goes over the rice. You guys are gonna love this takeout dish for two. For the full recipe, visit dessertfor2.com.